Howdy folks, Blaine here. So this is kind of a new way to go about doing things here. We're inundated every day with emails. I know administration's trying to cut down on it, so we only have one a day, but we still have all kinds of stuff coming in from CDC, Maine CDC, EMS, any other places that we work. We're inundated. So I thought I'd try something new. So we'll kind of see how it goes. I just want to put a short video out so I can kind of hopefully reach the vast majority of folks, because I'm not going to be able to see everybody, even when I'm on shift, to be able to see the folks in Augusta or sometimes even folks right there in Waterville, not just with, if it's a busy day, don't have a chance. So just trying something new. I want to talk about some of the things that people are experiencing in these times that seem to be, I hate to use the phrase because it's being used so much, but the new norm. And just using, want to get some information out, particularly today, first time out, want to talk about some anxiety. And we're inundated with it, we're anxious about where our next roll of toilet paper is going to come. We're anxious, am I going to have a job? Maybe we have loved ones that have already lost job, or am I going to get the corona? Am I wearing my PPE right? And then we still have to deal with our patients and staff members who are feeling the same thing that we are. It's a national anxiety, stress-inducing problem that we're all going through, and trying to decipher through it. And then when we get on social media or we're turning on the news, there is so much information that it just becomes overwhelming to us, and we become some of us paralyzed, and that anxiety, can produce all kinds of stuff, and then you start to wonder, gee whiz, do I have corona? So I want to talk about that just real briefly here today, and another day I'll talk about something else. But anxiety can manifest itself, as we all know, in so many different ways. It can do the chest tightness. It can do the shortness of breath. It can interrupt our sleep. It can interrupt our eating patterns. It can interrupt our emotional well-being to the point where we're snapping at loved ones. What we have going on this long-term event that is going on is something that we normally would only experience with a single event, the bad call, where we get done the call and we become overwrought with either grief or anger or whatever it is. If it's a bad kid call, then we get caught up in that, and we have to deal with our emotions. Well, we're feeling those exact same things, only now it's an extended period of time. So just recognizing that and understanding that there are a few things that we can do to help manage that a little bit. I know, we've been in debriefings and we've heard water, water, water. Well, water, water, water. That's one of the things. I'll say that right up front. Make sure that you're well hydrated in all that you do. Beyond that, having to deal with the anxiety of all the stuff at work, and then all the stuff at home, and then turning on the TV. One of the ways that we can help plan to deal with the anxiety is by planning ahead. Think about the things that do produce anxiety, especially in you, and how you can, on a daily basis, on the smaller level, not the big national level that we're facing now, but the smaller level, realize the successes that you can have by planning ahead. Gee, what am I going to have for supper tomorrow night? What are we going to do with the kids while they're home tomorrow? How is their schooling going to go? How am I going to plan family time? Bring out your calendar or talk with your family and plan those things, so you know that at some point during the day, whatever time you decide, that you're going to be doing those things. So that kind of starts to put structure in what it is that can hopefully start to pull some of this stuff together. Another thing is to unplug. Plan on unplugging. No matter where you go, people are going to be talking about the corona, whether you turn on TV, whether you turn on the radio, Facebook, any type of social media. Everything is corona, corona, corona. unplug from it. We can just talking, going into a grocery store or wherever you go, people are talking about it. Try not to get involved in all of those conversations and unplug. Set aside a time where you want to get onto Facebook, and instead of getting completely wrapped up in it and sitting there for hours on end, schedule out some time, 10 minutes, maybe twice a day, or whatever it is that you can that you feel comfortable in, but making sure that you're not getting wrapped up in it, because the more that you get wrapped up, the more you download, the more overwhelmed you get. Same with news. You walk into some people's houses or sometimes even into the kitchen, you've got either CNN, Fox, MSNBC, something's always on the TV, and that news, and it's just constant. We need to unplug from that. Find one particular source that you trust, whatever it is, one particular source, and focus on that and get your news from there. But don't watch it all day long. Nothing's going to change that rapidly, and if it does, there's going to be enough people that's going to tell you about it, especially if it's going to be important and going to impact what we do on a day-to-day basis. Another thing that you can do, and I know I'm speaking to the choir about this, and it's not going to work when you're at work, but get some good sleep. Well rested helps keep you centered and helps keep you focused and to be able to do the right thing, because no matter what all is going on, we still have to take care of our patients. And we still have to be able to make good decisions for them. And while we're making good decisions for them, we're making good decisions from us. Because if we're overtired, we're not sleeping well at home. We don't plan on sleeping well at work. But if we don't come in rested, then we're going to make mistakes with patients, and we're going to make mistakes with wearing PPE, and then there's a whole other list of things that we need to that kick in once we start making those mistakes. So try to get some good sleep. It also boosts your immune system, and that's the one thing that we all want to do these days is to keep our immunity up. Eating well, again, EMS at work. Do the best that we can, but when you're at home, try to eat well. It's all the junk food and the snacking that's not good for you. And trying to keep yourself as healthy as you can, good sleep, eating well, water. Those are things that you can have control over and will ultimately help you in the long run. And last thing I'll talk about here is embrace the bump. So I read that earlier today. Wash your hands and no handshaking. I know, that love one person walks around, has a glove, puts her gloves on so she can shake my hand. I miss shaking your hand. But we can't do it right now. Washing our hands, that's the biggest thing. And I know that's the biggest thing in the media, dealing with the viruses. Make sure that you wash your hands. Keep your 6 feet. Give the elbow bump, and just make good decisions. I'll say stay safe out there, but the best thing you can do is just make good decisions all the way around. As this progresses, I'll take a few minutes and chat with you again. I hope this is some helpful information. My contact information will be at the end of this, and you can text me, call me, email me. You can Facebook Messenger. I don't tweet or anything like that, but there's always ways to get a hold of me, whether I'm on shift or off shift. So I hope this is helpful, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.